All right, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Four of you watching. How's it going? Where are you guys watching from? The chat is open. If anyone wants to participate, feel free to post your comments in the chat. All right, welcome. Let's get to it. Listen, this is why it's important, and I've always preached this. This is why it is important for Nigerians abroad to stay connected and grounded back home. This is why. Especially for Nigerians in volatile, high risk regions, like some parts of the Middle East, not all parts, just volatile, high risk regions. Some parts of what? Europe, like we saw what's going on with the Russia, Ukraine, uh, military, well, let's just call it what it is, a war. And now with what's happening across the Middle East. This is a message for Nigerians. You got to build something back home to fall back upon. So when something like this happens, you have a place to return to and not some government encampment, some refugee camp or someone's couch. The Middle East right now is a no-go area. All of the airspaces are closed. The war, nobody knows when it's going to end. Some people are anticipating the next 6 weeks or so. You can't really put a time frame because a lot of people are now involved that weren't involved initially with the initial strike on Saturday. Now, the United Kingdom is involved now. They've gotten into the fight, not directly, but they are allowing the United States and Israel to use the UK British military bases all across the Middle East. So they are, put it this way, they are directly in the war now. They may not be shooting and firing the missiles and shooting the guns, but the establishment is open for business for the United States and for the Israelis. And now Lebanon has gotten into the fight with Hezbollah. Yemen, they've gotten into the fight with what? The Houthis. These are Iranian allies. So Hezbollah and Houthis, they are funded by the Iran government. So now it's a full-blown mess. Full-blown mess right now. And Nigerians are stranded right now across the Middle East. They can't go anywhere. All airports, major airports right now, all no goes. Because the Iranians are now starting to not only bomb US military bases and US interests, they are also bombing neighboring Middle Eastern nations' airports. For instance, the airport in Dubai is now under fire. Because the Iranians can't reach the US directly. They don't have the capacity to be able to launch missiles at the moment because they are weakened at the moment. Across the Atlantic, I'm talking about ballistic missiles across the Atlantic into the United States. So what they're doing is, okay, if we can't reach you, we're gonna reach your friends. That's what's happening right now. And Nigerians are just like we were smack in the middle of the Ukraine-Russian war. We are also smack in the middle in the Middle Eastern war at the moment. Which brings us to this organization. Actually, before I get into this organization, let me reiterate this again. For all those of you who have emigrated, I'm one of those. I'm in the US, but I have something back home. I'm just saying, travel outside, see the world, expand your horizons, but find something and build something that connects and grounds you back in Nigeria in case of incasity. You guys have heard that saying now. I don't even know if that phrase or that sentence is actually correct, but we grew up in case of incasity. My uncle used to say that when I was a kid. So let's just say in case of incasity, shit like this happens, then what? So the federal government of Nigeria, they are monitoring what's happening as if they can do anything. There weren't any preparations at all. So I have to fault the Nigerian government, to be honest with you. When this negotiation was happening, because nobody thought that the US and the Israelis were going to strike when they did. Nobody thought that because they were still technically in negotiations, right? I shouldn't have said right. Oh, stop saying that. They were still in negotiations. And then what happened. And then the US and the Israelis, they have to see it through. It's not as if you're just going to take out the Ayatollah. You got to take everything else out. The air defense systems, the radar systems, the missile launchers. You got to take all those out too. So now we are today is Tuesday the 3rd. We are 3 days into the conflict. And according to reports right now, over 1,000 Iranian combatants have died, and roughly about 6 US service members. So this is going to be it doesn't appear as if Iran is letting off anytime soon. As you can see, now they are launching drones. They are attacking high-rise residential buildings that has nothing to do with the war. They are just basically just saying, okay, that is Israel. Let's just launch. That is UAE, Dubai. Let's just launch. They don't really have the missiles don't really have any GPS. They're just launching. And the US and the allies too, US and Israel, though they are more technical fighters. Calm. They don't really just launch missiles randomly like that. They select pinpoint targets. The Hellfires, they have literally pinpoint accuracy. They can strike you pinpoint. Whereas the Iranians right now, they're just throwing what's called a Hail Mary. They're just launching everything at everybody in the Middle East that aligns with the United States. So this brings us to NiDCOM. Most of you Nigerians abroad, you don't know this organization. I can probably guarantee that a high percentage of Nigerians don't even know what NiDCOM is. The Nigeria in Diaspora Commission. Do you even know that they exist? So this is the organization that comes in when conflicts around the world happens, where Nigerians are, because our people now, we are everywhere. There's nowhere that you won't find a Nigerian. You go to Siberia, one of the coldest places on earth, you find a Nigerian there hustling. So we are now in this palaver that we're in abroad, again, nowhere to go. People are calling for guidance, reaching out to the Nigerian embassy. I think for right now, I think most of the embassies are probably closed across the Middle East right now, pending the resolution of this war. So Nigerians abroad, they're calling the federal government, trying to reach out to them for guidance. What are we going to do? As of right now, put it this way, there isn't any evacuation going on right now because where are you going to fly from? The skies are closed. You can't take off, you can't land. So now at this point, you basically have to shelter in place. And according to the Nigerian government, you want to avoid any military facility, avoid large crowds. I saw a video of, I don't know if the video was in Iran or in Israel, not really sure, of people just outside with their cell phones videoing, videoing bombs. Are you crazy? So you can share it on social. We know what's happening. You don't need to tell us what's happening. Well, not us. You don't need to tell the world what's happening. They know. The major media outlets are out there covering the war. We don't need you out there with your cell phones filming what's going on, filming the burning gas stations, filming the burn. We know. So just go ahead and tuck yourself in, jeje, and just wait. Unfortunately, nobody's working right now in Iran. With what's happening right now, the economy has essentially shut down in Iran right now. I'm not going to work. Bullets flying everywhere, missiles flying everywhere. I am not going to work. I'm sorry. And Nigerians right now can't say that they are working right now in Iran. So you guys, you get out of the country, most of you illegally. You don't really have papers. So you are kind of trapped, though, in a way, if you don't even have papers. Most of you don't. Immigrating illegally. So now you got to just weather the storm and just wait for. I can get. Okay, this is something totally different. Meredith Donaldson said, "What are Nigerians? What are we doing in Iran?" Well, we are living there, aren't we? That's what we are doing. And also another thing, to all of the pilgrimage, you're staying home. Yahaya Bello, I think you were actually planning on going for a little pilgrimage. You guys know Yahaya Bello, the former governor of Kogi State, that's currently under investigation right now for corruption. He was granted this permission to travel to Saudi Arabia to go and pray against the charges against him. Well, Yahaya Bello, you are staying in Nigeria. You're not going anywhere because the federal government have said Nigerians are not going anywhere in the Middle East for any pilgrimage travels. I don't even think it's even going to happen this year. So Nigerians are everywhere. Meredith, if you don't know, we are one of the only few people on nationality that you can literally find, maybe with the exception of Antarctica or the North Pole. I don't think Nigerians are in the North Pole. But besides the North and South Pole, man, are we not everywhere? We are everywhere. And we're also thriving. It's not as if overseas Nigerians are bombs. Overseas Nigerians, the majority of us, most of them are thriving. Those with paperwork, those with the right paperwork who moved out of Nigeria legally, overseas Nigerians thrive. Which points the lens to the issue that the reason why Nigerians back home aren't thriving is not because they lack the hustle or they lack the experience or the skill set. It's just that the systems are not in place for Nigerians in Nigeria to thrive. I don't want to go too much off topic, but we are everywhere and we are thriving. At least I can speak for those with legitimate paperwork. We do okay abroad. It's those that are not don't have the appropriate paperwork, who maybe migrated illegally. Those are the ones that are literally suffering in silence. And they can't go back because it's a shame. If you were to go back, what are you going back to? Didn't you just leave for abroad? What did you do? What are you doing back here? That's the first questions Nigerians will ask you. Someone moves abroad illegally, and then a year later, either they are deported or they self-deport. Because I know at least in the US, you can self-deport. I don't know how it is anywhere else in the world, but here currently you can self-deport. So then what are you going to go back and tell people back in Nigeria? I just didn't make it abroad. But before we dig deeper into this NiDCOM organization, which I think, guys, they have an event coming up in Canada in August. You want to pay attention to organizations like this. I know that the majority of their job is saving Nigerians in distress. Like when Nigerians are in trouble overseas, NiDCOM steps in and tries to bail them out. Like how we are currently in trouble right now in the Middle East because of what's happening in Iran. So you want to bookmark this organization. Part of what we do on my YouTube channel, yes, we analyze, we talk about what's happening, um, enterprise markets, business investments. We talk about these things, a little bit of geopolitics here and there. But we also try to give you the information that we know so you can use that information and make an informed decision. Because some of you are disconnected. I know the majority of you are looking for a pathway back to Nigeria. You just don't have the information. And that is one of the problems that we try to solve. At least I try to solve when I'm doing this live brief is what can I share with Nigerians abroad? At least I'll give you the info. What you do with the info is your problem. But NiDCOM, look it up, Google it. I'm gonna pull it up in a second so you guys can see the website. So they actually refuted the claim that somebody, like an official at NiDCOM, said something about how Nigerians there was a distress call from Nigerians. But he refuted it and said that that never happened. He never made such statements about there being some sort of a distress calls from Nigerians in the Middle East. But what he did confirm though is some Nigerians, not all, they've called and simply they were just looking for guidance. What do we do in this situation? Where do we go from here? And the response to the federal government is simple. Just follow the travel advisory that's going on right now. It's not rocket science. The travel advisory is just saying nobody's allowed to move. Don't fly anywhere. If somebody's trying to smuggle you out of the country or smuggle you out of the region, listen, you are safer just staying put for now until the dust settles. Because the last thing you want is to be 35,000 feet in the air and then the mistaken private commercial airlines for military airline and they're going to shoot you down. So the information is there. Stay off the streets because Nigerians already hear word. I know they hear word. Stay off the streets. It's only been 3 days. Shelter in place wherever you are. I know Iran has probably shut down telecommunications, right? Nobody in Iran, at least most of you can't reach out to the world because I think they've shut down telecommunications. I mean, they have to. That's the first thing that I used to be in the military. The first thing that technically goes away is comms. We got to knock off all comms, communications. The military can't talk to each other. They can't. You see, if you can't communicate, you are disabled. So that's probably like the first thing to go. They will knock off comms. They'll probably knock off like news stations. They'll probably knock off those sort of like television communications and stuff like that. So then that way nobody can get on television and start announcing, go and do this, go and do that, or start trying to direct. So they have to knock that off after they've kind of knocked off all the munitions on the ground, the stockpiles, and the rocket launchers. Then communications usually with them. So right now, nobody's talking in Iran right now. Nobody's talking in Iran right now. So if you are in Qatar, UAE, I want to go to Dubai, man. Go to Dubai. Meredith Donaldson asked me, Richie, what do you, man? I haven't been called Richie in forever. My friend's wife, April, when I used to live in Los Angeles, I lived there for 12 years. That was the only person in my entire life that has called me Richie. I'm telling you, it's like if I'm walking down the road right now and I just hear that name, Richie, I tie it to April, my friend Tony's wife in LA. So thanks for calling me that. Richie, what do you think? How about the Shia Muslim protesting in Kanu, Nigeria? I saw that. Are you sure everything is okay with us back home? Maybe we know well. Nigerians know well. So what Meredith is saying is, I saw it yesterday. Nigerians in the north on the streets. These are people that are struggling to eat 3 squares a day. What I mean by 3 squares is 3 square meals. And then it's not even Meredith, it's not even the protesting that bothered me. It's the waving of the Iranian flag on the streets that bothered me. That bothered me more than anything. You guys recall this same thing happened during the Russia-Ukraine war at the very beginning of it, when Nigerian kids were in the streets waving the Russian flag. When was the last time you saw a Nigerian wave the Nigerian flag? Where is the patriotism? If you are a Shia Muslim in Nigeria, nothing wrong with you going out there and supporting. Maybe you do a picket fence. It has to be organized. But when you go as far as to wave the Iranian flag, are you nuts? Are you out of your mind? That is the issue. And you saw, I don't know, Meredith, if you saw, I don't know where you are based, but there's this Senegalese Muslim Senegalese guy that just shot up a night or a restaurant in Austin. They took him down after like 57 minutes. He killed 2 people. An African from Senegal in the US who is against US's involvement in the Iranian war, US attacking and killing the Ayatollah. This guy took a machine gun, went to a club in freaking Austin, Texas, and shot up the place. Let me see if I can find a video of these people in Kano. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, I'm telling you. Kano protest, and I'll show it to you guys in a second. Nigeria. Shiites protesting Khan. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me share this with you. This is what Meredith is talking about. So you guys see the craziness that's happening back home. This is it. Show it to you.
If the system feels rigged, it's because it is. I hate that capitalism creates a hierarchy of worth.
Members of Nigeria's Shia Islamic movement took to the streets of Kano on Sunday, protesting the killing of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Demonstrators marched through the northern city carrying portraits of the late Iranian leader and waving Iranian flags. The protesters dragged American and Israeli flags on the ground to vent their anger.
It has broken our hearts. It has weakened us, and it at the same time it reminded us with the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, and then we regain we regain ourselves, and we felt that
Send our condolence and to show the Ummah our hearts and tears that are dismantled of sin.
Lani sent us details from Liv.
Any military agreement it might have signed with the US.
All right, let's stop there and talk about this. So, not only are you waving the Iranian flag in support of the Ayatollah, you are also stomping on the US flag. The same America that's trying to help your asses in the North with your insurgencies. You're going to take the American flag. You're going to stomp on it. You're going to burn it. The same hand that's trying to feed you. Where was Iran? Where was the Ayatollah? In the Nigerian fight against the insurgencies, where is Iran in that fight? Una know well. Let me tell you something, guys. Put it this way. I am not in support of the war. But in terms of the alternative, I am. Now, let me explain what I mean by the alternative. What is the issue here at hand? The issue here comes down to what? Nuclear weapons. That's really what it comes down to. So you have two groups who have been largely designated as terrorists. Follow me. You have Hezbollah, terrorist designation. You have the Houthis in Yemen, terrorist designation. Guess who is the #1 financier and backer and funder and supporter of Hezbollah, a terrorist organization, and the Houthis in Yemen, a terrorist organization? Iran. Iran pays the bills for Hezbollah. So let's just say Iran becomes a nuclear state. Who do you think they are going to arm first? They are going to arm Hezbollah, and they are going to harm Houthis. Could you imagine what a terrorist group can do with a nuclear weapon? That is the alternative. They are going to use it against people like me and you. When you hear of all these insurgencies happening in Nigeria, all these killings, are they not killing civilians? These people don't differentiate between the government and the civilians. They do both. That is the alternative. So I am in support of the strike based on that. Do you know what a nuclear Iran can do or would do in the Middle East? They don't like Israel. They don't even like their own neighbors. They don't like Saudi Arabia because they feel like Saudi Arabia is in bed with the United States. They don't like the United Emirates because they feel like all the Emirates are in bed with the United States. They don't like anybody. They are isolated. The only ally that Iran has right now are what? The Russians and the Chinese. Guess what? Isn't China quiet? China can only come out rhetorically and say, oh, we are against the war. The United States imperial, they can only come back. But are they in the fight? If you truly love your brother, wouldn't you go fight with them? Iran is the only one fighting right now. Even with their supporters, Russia, I know Russia is busy. Russia can't take their eyes off Ukraine right now. They have their hands full. They do. So for Russia to now go and start supporting Israel, Iran is like, it's suicidal. And remember, China is an opportunist country. They are only your friend with conditions. And now that Iran is in this situation that Iran is in, do you see China fighting alongside Iran? No. But guess what? The United States has Israel fighting alongside of it. They have the support of NATO. They have the support of the UK. Indirectly. So for all these idiots, and I have to call it, I gotta call it what it is, though. I gotta call it what it is. Some Nigerians are idiots. Some of you are idiots. Let's just call it what it is. You are gonna drag the flag of the US on the ground, drag the flag of Nigeria on the ground, and then raise up the flag of Iran, a terrorist state. And you are talking about, oh, martyrdom. No be Okay, let the Ayatollah go and live with this. What did they promise them? Was it 15 virgins? Is that what they give them? Okay, fine. We'll send you to the virgins. Name it what you want to name it. Martyrdom, whatever. He's gone. He's, at the end of the day, he is DEAD. Nobody knows where he goes from there. Okay, if you believe he's God virgins, fine. CJ just said. 17 of you, where are you watching from? Honestly, it's embarrassing. The US government have raised alarm, telling the police to ensure security all over the US. Sincerely, I'm scared for... Good point, Meredith. Good point. I don't even think Nigeria has such protocols in place in the country. Because you know there's going to be issues like this. Nigeria should not have even allowed something like that to happen, to spill into the street like that. And then these guys are just kind of waving the flag of Iran. Where are they getting this flag of Iran anyway? How can you, are they buying them in Nigeria? Where are these flags coming from? We just react. We don't know why we do certain things. We just do things without knowing why we're doing it. The same people in the north are the ones most affected by insurgency. These militants. Isn't that their playground? Isn't that where they operate mostly from the north? You know, the Nigerian government needs to go and address this matter immediately. 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 Let's look on channels to see if Nigerians have addressed it. Immediately. Seriously. Don't be scared for Nigeria. Don't even pray. I don't even know. I'm not a Christian like that. I could give a damn about prayers. I don't believe in them. But we need to rewire, let's see, FG monitoring Middle East situation. No Nigerian will be in danger. That's NiDCOM, like I mentioned. But let's see here. This is NiDCOM. As a matter of fact, let me pull up their. So before we do anything, guys, go to Middle East crisis. You want to go to this site, nidcom.gov.ng. This is the Nigerian Diaspora Commission website. For those of you abroad who want to stay in tune with what's happening, like I said, they have this event coming up. So this is the refuting of the no distress calls, that there are no distress calls from Nigeria stranded in the Middle East due to an ongoing crisis. This guy, the Balogun, said that he never issued such statements. But he did confirm that a few of you in the UAE, Qatar, Iran, you've been inquiring about preparations for evacuation when it becomes necessary. As of right now, nobody is evacuating anywhere. The borders are closed. No, you are not going. Listen, you are not going out and you are not coming in. The borders are closed for you. In these regions that you guys are, you guys think anywhere but Nigeria is better than Nigeria. Anywhere but Nigeria is better than Nigeria. It's a lie. Go and talk to the Nigerians in the Ukraine. Nigerians back home are probably better off. The majority of Nigerians in the Middle East, Nigerians back home are probably better off than them. And this is a lesson. You see how it is. The Ukraine-Russia war has been going on for 5 years now. Something that people thought it was just going to be a few months is now 5 years. A lot of Nigerians are still displaced. And there's even reports right now going on that they are recruiting Africans to go and fight in the Ukraine war. Probably the same thing might even happen in this situation. So some of you are willing to go out there and die for a green card. You want to go and die because you feel like Nigeria is a hellhole. You'll be surprised how good Nigeria is. If you just invest in Nigeria, find a little bit of what you can do. You don't have to take over the whole country. Just find. Nigeria is all about carving your own lane. Nigeria is all about look at Nigeria like a pie. Like a pie. And just get a piece of your own pie. That's the Nigerian system. Some of you are trying to take over the whole pie. Just get a piece of, where can I fit in and make a difference? Or what little lane can I get into and just create something for myself economically? So that when you go to a place like these places, you are going because it's an option for you. It's just an option. I want to go to the UAE and just chill for a day, for a week. But you guys will go and you'll burn everything down in Nigeria just to travel abroad. Nigerians are doing that right now. They will sell all their businesses, sell all their houses, sell literally everything, burn everything down back home just to go to Iran, to go and live there and be struggling. And you're calling that life. So the Nigerian government needs to come. I think Tinubu right now, let me tell you something. Tinubu can't afford the wrath of the US. And all Donald Trump has to do is just pull out. You guys go and kill yourself. And if you just touch Christian, I'm just going to come after you. So I feel like the Nigerian government is missing out. They need to go and address this matter. Fine. Listen, even in the United States of America, there are protesters. There are people picketing in support of the strike, and then there are people picketing against the strike. It's what happens in a civilized world. Go and picket. If Nigerians, the Shia Muslims in the north are against the strike, it's okay for you to go and exercise your constitutional right to picket in peace. But where you cross the line is the hoisting of the Iranian flag. And then you are stomping on the Nigerian and the American flag. That is where you lost me. That's where you lost me. So, the behavior right now, you guys, you go on social media, and let me tell you something, with the way artificial intelligence is right now, it's really difficult to decipher what's real and what is not. I'm talking about AI, proliferation of AI content on the internet right now. I mean, some days I'm watching YouTube and I'm like, man, this one kind of sounds like AI. It's like you don't even know who's real or who's fake. So social media, people are running there. You are going to see a lot of fake news. You are going to see a lot of AI generated content that Nigerians are dying. Nigeria is not true. It's not only Nigerians that are in the Middle East. There are people also there are other nationalities there. And they are working together in partnership with their respective governments. Even the United States has said, has a travel advisory for U.S. citizens in Iran. There are U.S. citizens in Iran. There are Israelis living in Iran. The tourism in the Middle East is largely what? Supported and by Westerners. So there are people that just kind of got caught up in this mess. It wasn't as if there's this early advisory, like, okay, Americans pull out or Nigerians pull out because we are getting ready to. But you all kind of know that something like this was imminent. We just didn't know when. It was just a matter of if. But I feel like Nigerians, we are always so reactive. I'm talking about the FG, the Nigerian government. They were reactive in the Ukraine Russia matter. At least, remember when Russia was lining up tanks along the border there? Do you think they were lining up tanks along the border so they can sit there and have breakfast with the Ukrainians? They were getting closer to their source so they can attack. It's the way it works. If you follow me, I've told you guys, look at US naval movement. When you know that the United States is getting ready to hit a nation, it's the Navy. They will start moving the Navy, start reshuffling the Navy around that nation. Let's move it over here. You saw what's been happening over the past couple of months. Really. You saw the inflow. They've been moving certain things away from certain regions and aligning them up in that because you knew that they were going to strike. And then when it happened, it was like, boom, Saturday, it happened in that morning. And then it's like everything is shut down right now. You can't fly. You can't cross, you can't go anywhere in and out. And I want to close with this message for Nigerians. With everything that's going on right now, you're going to start seeing people trying to recruit. It's going on. It's been going on right now with the Ukraine-Russia war. You're going to feel that you need to choose a side and you want to go and do certain crazy weird stuff, like maybe joining and being a foreign fighter. Don't do it. You are only going to lose your life. And if you are going to picket out there and demonstrate and get on the streets, do it with some dignity. Do it with some dignity. You have a country that's trying to help you suppress the insurgency in Nigeria, and you're going to take that nation's flag and drag it on the floor, on the ground. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed by the federal government of Nigeria, plain and simple. It's not going to be tolerated. You do that, you're going to be arrested. So the current status is this: no official evacuation notice has been issued by the federal government of Nigeria, other than stay off the streets, stay off government facilities, because that's what they are hitting. Stay away from large crowds, because they might mistaken the large crowd for enemy combatants. You see, all it takes is somebody. You can have 50 people gathered around. All it takes is one person to pull out a machine gun, and that's all the rules of engagement that I need to shoot you down. If they see one person with an assault weapon, they are automatically going to think that that's enemy combatants, and then boom, the bombs come down and all of you are gone. So stick close to the federal government. If you guys have a contact or you have a source, if you guys have a contact and you have a source in Nigeria that you are reaching out to, also connect with your fellow Nigerians back in wherever you are in the Middle East, and just stay in touch with each other. And mind you, Nigerians in the diaspora, we are also, because most of you think that we are forgotten people in distress. We'll do the best we can to help. And I think the federal government should probably open up some sort of like a donation. I'll donate. Something, maybe NiDCOM can do something like that. Open like a donation account or something for Nigerians abroad to help support Nigerians who are affected in the Middle East. I'll donate. You see, you guys sometimes underestimate the love of Nigerians abroad. You underestimate it. Because you guys are not really looking at us. You are not really positioning your messages to Nigerians abroad, because you probably think that most of us have forgotten home. But programs like this, and I know, CJ, maybe you are watching. She sent me something about a school in somewhere in Nigeria. They don't have desks. They don't have chairs. The teachers are practically teaching, sitting down on the floor. The ground is, the floor doesn't even, they don't have any carpet. I'm talking, these are classrooms. Something like this, organizations like NiDCOM can put up a project fund, specified, sponsor a school. This school in Nigeria needs 100 desks and chairs for students. Nigerians abroad will support, so long as we see that they're being done, though. Not as if that we'll donate now and then you go and buy a Rolls Royce. So don't underestimate the will of Nigerians in the diaspora. For those of you who are affected and this is just me personally reaching out to you, this has nothing to do with, just as a human being, this one is going to pass. But at least, hopefully, you've learned a lesson or two. Find something to do back home once all the dust has settled. You don't need a mansion. You people think, oh, I want to go and build a big house and with 20-something rooms. Find something that calls you. Build a one-bedroom, rent a one-bedroom apartment for yourself. Buy, it doesn't matter. Just do something back home. Something you can fall back on, a business, a place you can go back and live, something. But in closing, the Nigerian FG, if you guys are watching this, if you know anybody, send this to them. Let's create a program, an international diaspora funding program, where if you have something, a project, somebody can sponsor a classroom. Okay, Rich, we have this 300 square feet classroom, one desk for the teacher. Generally, what a class is 20 something students, right? When I was in primary school in Nigeria, it used to be there's a desk and there's like two chairs. It was like two students to a desk, and then we all had a drawer and stuff like that. So you have a classroom of 24 students. Isn't that just 12 desks and 24 chairs for 24 butts? And then a desk for the teacher and a chair for the teacher. People in the diaspora can sponsor a classroom. My wife is an educator. I know what she needs in a classroom. She needs a chalkboard. She needs a blackboard. She needs desks. She needs somebody abroad can sponsor that. Even if it means, okay, I'm going to come in and just sponsor the desk and chairs and the blackboard. Give somebody a class. And then before you know, like I was telling CJ, something like that will make you feel better than complaining. And if you do that and we see the results, you can create a domino effect that can inspire somebody else to sponsor another classroom. These are just examples. You can sponsor a school uniform. Sponsor a uniform for the kids. You don't have to go out there and build an infrastructure. So there's my one of my colleagues. He's a Nigerian based in Texas. He sponsored a school by donating computers. He did. In the past, I've sponsored students by donating pens and pencils, personal care. There was a time that I went to Nigeria and I took a bunch of like personal care items, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap. And then I just went and just donated it and just passed it around to all of the students. They were so happy. Something like that. And specifically to NiDCOM, is not only when Nigerians are in trouble that you spring up and start. Anyway, there's an event for those of you in Ottawa, Canada. You can go on the NiDCOM website and look at it. They have a Diaspora Economic Development Summit coming up in August in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. For those of you in Canada looking for something to do back home, perhaps get in touch with NiDCOM, see how you can participate in this convention, this summit that they have coming up. I can't go because I'm based in the US. But if something like this were to come to the United States, I would definitely be interested in going. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna close with that. That's what's on ground right now. Stay safe out there. Reach out to your fellow Nigerians in these affected regions. Show your support for them in whichever way that you can. And then the most important thing, stay connected to the federal government in Nigeria for the latest news. Okay, so thank you guys for your time. Sincerely, Uncle Richie. Fairview said good content. Thank you. Watching from Republic of Ireland. What's up, Ireland? Man, Guinness. I don't drink Guinness anymore. Ha! Those days when I had tolerance. Now, man, if I take a sip of Guinness, I'm done. Thank you, guys. Listen, we have audiences from all over the world. Thank you for watching. Hey, guys, subscribe too. Sincerely, Uncle Richie, if they donate that money, someone will loot. They will loot it. A lot of things are happening that is unspeakable and is sickening. That's the thing too. There has to be accountability. You do bring up a good point. There has to be, but we still need to show that such program exists. Here is a way around it, Meredith. So let's say I'm able to identify through organizations like, let's say, NiDCOM, right, for a diaspora project program. And then they have a list of these things that diasporas could do. You see, I don't necessarily have to send the money to them. I can pick my own projects that I want to sponsor. And then I can bring in my own team. Like, for instance, if I choose to, let's say, I want to sponsor a classroom, I can look for a carpenter there, hire a carpenter or a team of carpenters, and just tell them, build me 12 student desks and 24 chairs for the students. Build me a desk for the teacher and a nice executive chair for the teacher. You see, I can do that, and all they got to do through, obviously, you're going to need the principal of that school involved as well. And then that could be your donation. You see, your money doesn't have to go to the government or to them. You can stay abroad and sponsor a project back home that way. Maybe it's your alma mater. Because we all grew, I mean, I'm glad I wasn't born abroad. I was born in Nigeria. I went to primary school in Nigeria. Elizabeth Fowler. So I can reach out to, let's say, the principal of Elizabeth Fowler if a program like that exists. I'm an ex-student. I just want to sponsor the principal's office. What do you need? Because it starts with the leadership. Maybe the principal needs a brand new AC so they can guide the kids. They got to be in a comfortable position. You can do something like that. Okay, I'm going to send in my team to come in and, assess your office, see what we can put into the office, and then that could be my personal project. But I still feel like the government needs to have a consolidated, some sort of like a centralized hub, though, a centralized hub where people can go in and just pick and choose. I'm just giving you the classroom is just an example. Listen, I've built borehole in Nigeria for the community. Maybe somebody else can pick a school and donate a borehole system. How much is a borehole system in Nigeria today? You can do it for 1.5 million naira. $1,000. So kids can have clean drinking water. Something simple. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. You guys know they're looking for contracts, multi-million naira contract. Do something simple for somebody else in Nigeria. That's really all it takes. And before you know what's happening, you inspire others to do the same. Look, I'm going to close with this. The Israelis are mostly supported and funded by the Israeli diaspora. The Jewish diaspora are the financial backbone of Israel. The Nigerian diaspora is technically the financial backbone of Nigeria, to be honest with you. 20-something billion dollars a year that we send home. But nobody's really speaking to the diaspora. They just send money come, send money come, send money come. Nobody's really talking to the diaspora. The way the Israeli government talks to the Jewish diaspora. It's the little things that count. One developed classroom leads to another developed classroom, which leads to a developed institution. It's these little things. So, Meredith, Fairview, again, I don't want to create headache for myself, but you know what I'm talking about. If you guys are interested in something like that, I've given you guys the blueprint. Just reach out to Nigeria, see what you can do. And also, You're probably talking about the donation to help the people in affected in the Middle East. That's fine. It's the money if you want. Just make it available for me. What I have, I'll put in there. Whether the people, I mean, you saw what happened in the Ukraine. I mean, people were hungry. People were in the dark for a while. But they need to put something out, though. But I feel like there needs to be a brotherhood. There needs to be a brotherhood, the Middle Eastern Nigerian brotherhood. Set up a GoFundMe, whatever you have to do, verified by trusted organizations like NiDCOM or just something, trusted Nigerian organization verified. I think Nigerians abroad will happily donate $5, $10. How many Nigerians are there in the United States? Damn near almost 2 million. If 2 million people donated $1, is that not $2 million? Could that not go go a long way in helping the less privileged in the Middle East? These presidential elections, it's the American people that donate $5 here, $10 there to their candidates. They'll donate $2 here, $3 there. Before you know what's happening, somebody has $10 billion in the coffers. Some of you watching, where are you watching from? If I'm making sense to you, say yes in the chat. But we need to start respecting the country. This one now, I'm speaking directly to you people back home. You need to start respecting the flag and what it stands for. It's not as if there's an alternate Nigeria, there's another Nigeria somewhere. That's all we've got. So show some respect. And if your leaders are not working for you, vote them out of office. I don't know how you guys are going to do it though, because what? Election is coming up in 10 months. There's not even hey man, if I go inside that 1 hour, I go there another 1 hour. How do you you're planning to be the opposition? I'm talking about the ADC. They haven't had a primary yet to elect a flag bearer. 10 months. Election is 10 months. And then when Tinubu wins in this landslide, they are going to say, oh, he rigged the election. You see, somebody that doesn't have an opposition to run against, oh, he won, he rigged it. If Tinubu was running against Tinubu, Nigerians will still say Tinubu rigged himself. Show some respect for the electoral process in Nigeria and stop selling your vote, your NIN. You guys are selling your NIN, is what I've heard. They are selling their NIN number for 10,000 naira. Let me see. Who said this? Let me see what this person said. You could get all the Nigerian princes to donate for sure. There's no such thing as Nigerian princes. Which Nigerian princes? Mary, they say yes. All those Nigerian princes don't exist. They only exist in your mind. Look, I'm 47 going on 48. I've never met a Nigerian prince in my life. And I've been around a lot of Nigerians. I've never met a Nigerian prince. I have never met a Nigerian king. I have never met a Nigerian princess. They only exist in fiction. I've had a few email me, Ash, where are you? Where are you writing from? Listen, if you're abroad and you listen, if you are still getting an email from the Nigerian prince, just play with them. If you have the time. Otherwise, just block report as spam. They don't have money buried in some graveyard for you to go and unlock. They don't have gold buried in some cemetery for you to go and unlock. They don't exist. So if you are still falling for the Nigerian 419, is what they call it, in 2026, maybe you deserve it. Maybe you deserve it. If you are still falling for the send me money, send me 10,000 naira to get 100,000 naira back. If you are still falling for that in 2026, maybe you deserve it. If somebody is sending you a check for you to go and cash, and then when you cash the check, you keep, they'll send you $10,000 check. If you cash the check, you keep $1,000 for yourself and send them 9,000. Maybe you deserve to be scammed. And all those of you in these romantic relationships online where somebody will send, connect with you on these dating apps, and then after a day or two, they love you, they want to marry you, they want to come and visit you. And by the way, I want to come and see you. I know the ticket price is 2,000, but I've been able to come up with 1,000. Can you come up with the other 1,000? And you are thinking that you are talking to your next husband or your next wife. That person is probably some 15-year-old Nigerian kid in some internet cafe. You got to watch out for these signals. It's cyber crime. As much as, listen, I'm not a Nigerian whisperer. It's not my job, but I'm just telling you, avoid all this nonsense that's happening. There's no lover waiting to marry you in Nigeria. There's no lover coming for you in the US. Nobody's going to save you. There is no investment where you can go in and recoup 100% ROI. Let me tell you right now, the average investment return is probably anywhere between 8 to 12% per year. That's literally less than 1% per month. That's what the average ROI is globally. So if somebody is telling you that your return on investment is 1,000%, because they've figured it out, they've solved the puzzle, they've cracked the Morse code of business and investment. Come with me. Invest $1 million with me today, and in 12 months, you will have $2 million. You better run away. You better run the other direction. Because I'm telling you, the average ROI anywhere in the world right now is about 8 to 12%. Believe it or not. It's not 100. It's not 20%. It's not 30%. It's not even 15%. If you have 10%, that's okay. Anything above 12%, you better start questioning it. Ash searches, and what other questions do you guys have? Ash, I've had a few emails. I'm from the United Kingdom. Nice. I've been there. They want it via Western Union. Of course they do, because you see, they're trying to separate your money from you. Once that money goes through the Western Union system or even the bank wire, listen, when you bank wire transfer money, you're not getting it back. When you send money through Western Union, you're not getting it back. When you send money through SendWave app, you ain't getting it back. So unless you know somebody, don't send them money. Don't do it. It's probably a scam. Of course, I know them now. Ash said, I know them all. I appreciate you telling us to avoid them. Of course, now. Let me tell you, when I was in Nigeria, we lived in a flat. It's a 4-unit flat. On one side, you have a flat, 4-bedroom flat upstairs. You have a 4-bedroom flat out downstairs. On the other side, there's a 4-bedroom flat. The people beneath us were one of the biggest scammers in Nigeria. Peter and Tony, let me just put their first names out there. What didn't we see? This was back in the day when fax machines, man, it was a full-time. If I begin giving a secret, what didn't we see? Somebody will come here and tell you, oh, you see this oil refinery, I own it, it's mine. They'll give you a tour. And then you get home and then you wire them $100 million. Listen, if it's too good to be true, listen, at the end of the day, follow your gut instinct. Your instincts, your natural born instinct is there for a reason. If something is too good to be true, if it feels just, man, this ain't right. There's something fishy. Listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. If it just, man, this deal, man, is golly, but listen to your gut. There aren't that many investments in Nigeria that's good. Most investments in Nigeria, you're going to lose money. Do you know why you're going to lose money? Because the system is not set up for you to win in Nigeria. I'm sorry, it is the truth. That's what I always tell you guys. Invest 80% of your income abroad. And then maybe the other 20% you can send back home for some light investment. Some light investment. And then when it scales, you can do more. But if you're just starting out, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all, you see, you gotta, when you're getting into a pool, how you dip your finger into the water first to see if it's the temperature of the water, and you dip your toe or you dip your foot in the water. That's how you should approach Nigeria. Experiment first before you go deep. See results first and then question those results. Nigeria is high risk. It's a high risk. I love my country. If you don't control the end-to-end process, you should probably think twice before investing in Nigeria. If your investments is hedged upon somebody else, you are going to be disappointed and you're more than likely going to lose your investment dollars or pounds, since Ash, you're in the UK, euro. But the safest investment you can do for yourself right now, go and find rural land somewhere and just hold on to it. Why? Because remember, the world right now is building data centers. That's the future. The construction and development of data centers. And guess what? You can't build a data center around where the population is. It's got to be in a rural area. And guys, read the signal. Look, I follow signals. I don't follow noise. You see what's happening right now with the federal government of Nigeria, the Asho Rock. They've detached from the national grid. And now they're building some sort of like solar systems. That's why I'm saying if you can get your hands on a rural land, maybe it's in your village, They can use that rural land to build solar energy farms. They can use that rural land when Nigeria gets to that point. Nigeria is nowhere near AI yet. They can use that rural land to build data centers. You see, residential building, there's really no money there. Commercial building, there's no money there. Industrial real estate is where it's at. That is the future. AI. Listen to me. Yesterday, I built my first AI agent. First time ever. I built my first AI agent yesterday by myself. Automation. Automated. I'm not going to tell you guys what I did. I will never go back to manual. When I saw the capabilities of what these AI agents can do for me, never going back to manual. Autonomous. Remember these 4 letters. SAAD. Simplify, automate, accelerate, and delete. That one are different. You guys got to pay me for me to like break that down for you guys. But don't frown upon rural land. You see, the people who are building, buying residential lands, you see, they are building for today. You gotta plan for the future. The development and the construction of artificial intelligence data centers is the future. And let me tell you, when they run out of land in the US, now Africa then they come find land to build these data centers. So do that. Invest in rural land. Just hold on to it for the next 10 years and see what happens. The most important thing, make sure that you get that land surveyed in your name. And then just hold on to your documentation and paperwork. You see, now you've invested back home. It's going to start calling you. When you plant your flag in Nigeria, Nigeria will start calling you. Meredith, the only investment I would advise anybody to do is treasury bill. Aside that, I'm sorry. Because fixed deposit can be. But the banks won't collapse. Nigeria has a very strong banking infrastructure. That's one thing I have to give Nigeria. See, the days of banks collapsing, those days are gone. Now your money is safe. And then my dad used to bank with this bank called Mercantile Bank. I'll never forget. Overnight, my dad lost everything in that bank. This was in the late 80s. My dad had money. Could you imagine having money in a bank one day and then the next day is zero? But Nigeria has reformed their banking institutions though. Now you got to have what minimum of billions for you to even be a bank in Nigeria, for you to even have a license from the Central Bank of Nigeria. You gotta, yeah, it's not what it used to be. So the banks aren't going anywhere. If anything, invest in the stock market in Nigeria through the NGX. You can find brokerage companies there and invest in stocks. But those are like safe, like little things like that. Land, that's real estate, investing in stocks and index funds. You can do that relatively safely. Also, you can do that easily from abroad. It's not something that requires you to be on ground back home to do. All right, I wanted to keep this short. I wasn't planning on staying as long as I did, but thank you guys for watching. Hey, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow for another live session. Not really sure what I'm going to talk about, but yeah, when I do have a topic, I'm going to post it. And then make sure you hit the notification bell so you are notified when I go live. But thank you guys for tuning in today. Hope you learned something. I will talk to you guys soon. Okay.